What are you hungry for? I wanted to be my own boss everywhere I worked because of the politics. I got fired. Some things happen to you, some things happen for you. Had I not been fired from WVKO radio station, had I not been fired, I would have never became a state legislator. Had I not been fired, I'd never produced specials for public television. Had I not been fired, I'd have never been paid $5 million to do a talk show by King World. Had I not been fired, I would have never been able to resign from the Ohio legislature and go back to Mamie to take care of my mother. I had promised her that she would not end up in a nursing home. She used to work in a nursing home and never wanted to go. I remember my sister calling me, "Leslie, are you sitting down? What's wrong with Mama?" "Mama has breast cancer. It's terminal." I said, "I'll be right there." "You don't have to come. You got nice nursing homes here in Dade County." "Listen to me. No, I'm coming." I left immediately, my political ambitions, everything, and I rung the doorbell. A friend of hers named Mildred was there. She came to the door. "Whoa, Mildred said, "Mamie, Leslie's here. Leslie's here." And I heard my mother say, "I knew he would come. I knew my boy would come." Is there somebody that you love? Somebody that is so important to you that if something happened to them, they can count on your being there, of your showing up? What do you think about that? I want you to put voice in the comments section, because it allows you to control your own personal economy. It allows you to create your own job. See, a job is what you get paid for. Your calling is what you are made for. 86% of Americans go to jobs that they hate. And at the same time, they don't want to get fired. That's what you call mixed emotions. Seeing somebody you hate drive off a cliff in your car. You sad that they're gone, but not, you're glad that they're gone, but not in your car. Couldn't they do something else? Use a bicycle or something? To drive off a cliff, not in your car. You glad they're gone, though. Let me tell you something. This thing called life. Helen Keller had a point. Life is short and unpredictable. Eat the dessert first. Bet on you. Tomorrow's not promised. If we don't know anything else, we know that the coronavirus has taught us how fragile life is. Don't leave here doing something that's not you. Take a chance on you. Give yourself a chance. I wrote the quote, "Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars." My brothers and sisters, they thought I was crazy. And I am. Sometimes you gotta be out of your mind. Let that mind be in you. See, if there's gotta be another mind in you, then you got to be out of your mind, because that mind is not serving you. I want you, if you'd like to work with me, if you've heard my voice since you were a kid, and it touched you, it touched your heart, it expanded your vision of what was possible. If you were in a dark place and you just didn't think you could make it. William Hollis said to me, he's got a motivational message he put together, and I encourage you to get it. It's called, "I didn't come this far to come this far." He called me Pops. And let me share something with you. He's a bad boy up in here. And he said he was homeless and he heard my voice. I became his spiritual father. He heard my voice. And it brought him through a very difficult time. Jose Flores. Jose, he said, don't let your limitations become your standard. And Jose, who who is bound in a wheelchair, but buddy, he's now motivating and speaking to corporations and individuals and inspiring them, even though he's confined to a wheelchair, quadriplegic. His beautiful wife, Adrian. You're still here. There's so much more in you. Simba, you are more than that which you have become. This is not for everybody, though. At this stage of my life, at 75, I'm looking for people that are hungry. I'm looking for people who say, Les Brown, I'm the one. That's what I told Mr. Washington. You go and you look at Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome. You go all the way to the end. I followed him and told him when he got through speaking to some seniors in the auditorium at Booker T. Washington High School. I was a junior. I followed him down the steps. My mother was working in the cafeteria at this time. I said, "Sir, do you remember me?" "No." I said, "My name is Leslie Brown. My mother, Miss Mamie Brown, she works in the cafeteria. I'm a twin. I was in your class looking for MacArthur Stevens, and they called me DT, and I agreed with them, the dumb twin. And you came and looked at me and said, 'Don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality.'" And I was startled. I said, "Do you remember me now?" He said, "Yes." And I said, you said to them that they can make the school proud. They can make their families proud if they realize that they have greatness in them." I said, "I was there, but you're not a senior, you're a junior." I said, "I know, but I heard your voice and I felt like you were talking to me." I said, can I make my mother proud?" He said, "Yes." I said, "But what about the fact that I failed math and English and history and going to summer school for the 5th straight year?" He said, "Your grades don't determine who you are. You just have to work harder." And he turned to walk away. I said, "Mr. Washington?" He said, "What is it now? You said if just one person heard your voice, that your being brought here from Stuart, Florida would not have been in vain." He said, "Yes." I said, "I'm the one, sir. I am the one." He said, "It's possible, Mr. Brown." He turned and walked away. I said, "Remember my name. I'm the one, sir. I'm Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy, and one day you're going to hear my name again. I'm the one." And I'm sure he just dismissed it. You see the video, Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome. I'm not going to end it for you, but it tells the full story. Here's what I'm saying. Some things happen to you. Some things happen for you. Keep the faith, baby. As Adam Clayton Powell, great congressman out of New York, once said. Keep the faith. Faith that has never been tested can't be trusted. Keep the faith, baby. Judge not according to appearances. Keep the faith, baby. Greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. Keep the faith, baby. He said, "I'll give you whatever you desire." Keep the faith, baby. I'll give you all that your eyes can see. Hold the vision of what you want to create. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. Keep the faith, baby. Use your superpower, your power voice. A lot of people caught up in the drama, the politics, and all this stuff that's going on. Don't worry about what's going on in the White House. Worry about what's going on in your house. Because at the end of the day, You're only 6 inches from success. That's the distance from this ear to this ear. Develop your mind. Be ye not conformed to this world. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Most people are witnesses. They're watching television. They're fans. You want to be a player? Kid and play. I'm kid. You want to be a player? You want to be the person who stands for something, who will live a life that will outlive them? Let me work with you to develop your power voice. Let me shorten your learning curve. Let me share with you how I came from nothing to get here. You're watching me because you know in your heart of hearts what I've done. You can do plus more. Put voice in the comment section. There's somebody that you know that needs to hear this message. I want you to like this page and share it. Like it and share it. But I'm not just looking for anybody. I'm ready to close this thing out. I'm just looking for people that are hungry, that are serious, that are coachable. Because most people aren't. Most people don't know that they don't know, and they think they know. One of the worst things in the world to deal with: arrogance and ignorance. People who don't know and they think they know. Oh, behave, whatever. You have so much more to express. You're still here. Every day is a great day, as Orrin Hudson would say. If you don't believe it, try missing one. If you're ready to make more money, if you're ready to be your own boss, if you're ready to generate and control your own personal economy, if you're ready to advance your career, if you're ready to run for office and make a greater impact and to live a life that will outlive you, be a policy maker, put voice in the comment section. If you have some skills, some knowledge, you're a speaker, trainer, coach, and you want to make yourself stand out. Name of the game today is attention. How to get attention, how to create an experience to hold the attention, and how to direct the attention. That's the name of the game. Put voice in the comment section. People are rushing to become a part of our training program, the leading program on the planet. I do it. I control it. I direct it. And if you can find somebody who's come from where I've come from and done what I've done and overcame what I overcame, I encourage you. Do it with them. Got somebody who can do it and accomplish what I have accomplished, becoming a dominant force in this industry? My hat goes out to you. This is not for everybody that I do. The Power Voice system. He who has ear, let him hear. If you could hear me in your heart, this is your time. You watch me up to this point, you know in your heart of hearts, these things ye shall do, and greater things shall ye do. You're ready for the greater work. Put voice in the comment section. Do it now. Don't put it off. Oh, I can't afford to do it. You can't afford not to do it. You know, people are talking about, how much does it cost? Don't worry about how much does it cost. Ask yourself the question. The guy asked me, how much will it cost you if you don't do it? Had I not bet on me, had I not put my money where my mouth is, oh my God, it cost me millions of dollars, literally. The clients I've had, AT&T, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's Corporation, General Electric, IBM, it had cost me millions of dollars, and the lives that I could have transformed had I not bet on me. Everybody being practical and logical and reasonable say, you're wasting your time. There are over 3,000 members of the National Speakers Association. Sometimes in life, you've got to be unreasonable. That's why we're taught to walk by faith and not by sight. That's why we're taught to call forth those things that be not as though they were. Judge not according to appearances, but right judgment, right thoughts, right feelings, right emotions, right relationships, and right vision. Yeah, let everybody else follow all the drama that's going on. He said, I'll keep thee in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee, not on thee in the drama. Drama will always be here. Always. Three kinds of people that will come out of this period where we are. There's a reckoning going on. There's a reckoning going on. Benjamin Franklin said nothing will change until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are affected. There's some good-hearted people who now see, whoa, these people weren't making this up. Wow. Oh my God. Who would have thought? These people have been getting away with murder, judge, jury, and executioner. That's not American. But you know what I found? Hate is more important and more powerful than many people's religious values, the sense of morality. Hate is more important. Isn't that interesting? How they hold the Bible. They don't read, as a man thinketh, so is he. As he continues to think, so he remain. The least that you do unto these, my brethren, you do it also unto me. Isn't that amazing? It's amazing. Stand up for something. I had a saying when I was on WVKO radio station in Columbus, Ohio. Stand up for what you believe in, because you can fall for anything. And there are people right now. Just look around. Just look around. Oh my goodness. It's amazing. Don't try and figure it out. You can't figure out crazy. You can't do that. No. Leave it alone. Keep thine eyes single. Live your life to the fullest. Live a life that will outlive you, because you can. You were chosen out of 400 million sperm. You're a masterpiece because you're a piece of the master. I'm looking for a few hungry people. We will vet you. And I'm 75, so I don't have patience for foolishness. I'm looking for people that are positive, that are passionate, that are coachable, that will listen, that's ready to be introduced to a part of themselves that they don't know. See, you can't read the label when you're locked in the box. Sometimes you need somebody to facilitate that process. You can't get there by yourself. All of us at different points in our lives, like what former heavyweight champion Joe Frazier said, like a blind man standing on a corner waiting for someone to lead him across the street. All of us have had our moments in the Garden of Gethsemane. Millions of people right now going through a tough time, nervous, can't sleep at night, fearful of being evicted or foreclosed on, losing their jobs, can't get a good night's sleep. And your voice, your voice of hope, your voice, your story, the things that you've overcome and the things you've gone through can become their guide, their survival guide to navigate these times where we are. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. He said he'll never leave us nor forsake us. Keep in mind, God's still in control.
You know within yourself that there's something you want to do, and I believe that all of us were born with a purpose, that all of us have something that we are supposed to do, that all of us have some goodness within us, and that goodness gives us a responsibility to manifest our greatness. And when you know that, you can feel it in your guts, and you know that you're deliberately operating below your potential. You've gotten comfortable. You stop expanding, you stop stretching, you stop challenging yourself. Let me share something else with you. Not only is it possible for you to have your dream, but it's necessary. It's necessary that you have it, that you work on it, that you develop yourself, that you go for what is yours in the universe. I have a friend that at the beginning of the year I was in Los Angeles giving a speech, and I do a seminar teaching people how to become involved in the speaking business, and also one called Speaking with Power, teaching people how to begin to develop their communication skills. And this friend, I said, I want you to work with me. I called her up. She said, Les, are you sure I can do it? Sure you can. You have a PhD in communications. I don't have that. If I can do it, sure you can do it. In fact, I'm going to give you the support that you need. Here's what I realize, ladies and gentlemen. We only have enough energy to take us to a certain level, but it's necessary that we assemble ourselves with other people who share our vision, other people that can see it for us, to give ourselves a home court advantage. So it's necessary that you seek out other people who think like you, who are growing, who have decided that they are not satisfied with where they are. See, I don't believe that necessity is the mother of invention. No, necessity, in my opinion, is not the mother of invention. Refusing to accept things the way that they are is the mother of invention. When you decide, I'm not going to settle for this, this is not going to be it for my life, I deserve more than this. See, that will start making you do some stuff. See, a lot of people go to work every day miserable, and all they do is just talk about how miserable they are. But they don't do anything about it. So I was telling her that I knew she hated her job with a passion. I said, you can do this. You got more going for you than I have going for me. And we've been going through this for years, ladies and gentlemen. She'd been to my seminar speaking for a living. She brought her husband, and that was one of the major problems that I realized that happened in her life. He couldn't see it for her. So you got to make sure that you have people in your life that can see it for you, that will encourage you. Non-affirming relationships can hurt you. And I talked to him. I said, you know, I don't have anything to do with your marriage. I said, you and I are good friends, and she and I are good friends. And I'm not taking sides. I said, but if you can't see it for her, don't tell her that. Just give her some support. What if you're wrong? It's possible, man, that if I'm doing it, she can do it. Well, you're different. How are you going to tell me that? You've seen her speak. She's got great speaking skills. Don't underestimate her. You don't know. You got a great woman here. But you see, people who can't see it for themselves can't see it for you. He was happy. So I said, will you do it with me? I said, I'm going to give you the support you need. You can't do it by yourself. I will stand with you. She said, you will? I said, yes. I'm going to make you a part of my seminar. You'll do a part of it, and I'll do a part of it. Speaking with Power. She said, okay. 3 days later, ladies and gentlemen, I got an emergency call at my office. It was from her husband. He called and said, tell Les Brown that Marion is dead. I said, oh no. When I was flying there to go to the funeral, and I remember the last time that I saw her, and I had some of her papers that I had gotten inadvertently confused with mine, and I took them home. And I was searching through these papers to do one of her works. She was a prolific writer. And what got me, what was so sad that made me begin to cry, was that there were poems that she had started that were profound poems, great thoughts. that she didn't complete. Plays that she had started that she didn't complete. See, that poem was given to her. I can't finish that for her, nor can you. That play, whatever the outcome that she had envisioned, that she had imagined, was given to her. Only her. And she's the channel that was going to come through. You are here, and you are the vessel, you are the outlet for the universe. That you've been selected. There's something for you to do. I believe all of us have some purpose for being here. And as I was going to the funeral, and I was reading a newspaper that said that millions of people are dying because of what they're eating, talking about their diet. And I'm sure that it was Marion talking to me, whispering, saying, Les, the next time you speak, say that even more are dying because of what's eating them. When the challenges of life come your way, you've got to find ways to increase your sense of self-appreciation, because if you don't, you're bombarded with negative stuff every day that beats you down, and you will find yourself unconsciously engaged in self-destructive behavior. If you don't program yourself, life will program you. So you want to have an agenda for your life. It's necessary that you have some direction for your life. A friend at the National Speakers Convention gave us a presentation, and it really struck me. He was talking about when he was traveling across Europe, Warren Gresham, and he said at different points, soldiers would wake them up on their journey and ask him the question. And I posed this to you. The question was, where have you been? Why are you here? And where are you going? And that's what I ask you. Where have you been? Where have you been up to this point? You look at your life. You look at what you produce. Is it giving you what you want? Are you living on purpose? Are you living your dream? Are you acting on your ideas? Are you doing all you can do? Have you gotten comfortable? Are you procrastinating? Are you evading your own greatness? Are you surrounding yourself with people that can nourish you? Are you challenging yourself? Are you experimenting? Are you learning something different? Is your life an adventure, or is it boring? Where have you been? Why are you here? What brought you here? Investing the time, the money. What brought you here? And where are you going? What is it that you can get out of this session, out of this lecture? That when you leave here, rather than this just being a spectator event, that you got some idea, some dream, that you might have to go back and brush it off and look at it again and say, I've got to do this. This is my stuff. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is why I showed up. Where are you going with your life? What decisions are you making right now as you look into the future? Are you experimenting to find out what other talents and abilities that you have? See, we're in a time right now. The day is gone where you could just go to college and get out and get a job and work 30 or 40 years with job security and retire with a gold watch. The gold watch days are gone. Brand new day, party's over. So now you have got to be multi-talented and multi-skilled. You've got to use all your stuff. You don't know what else you can do. I didn't know I can do what I'm doing right now. It's necessary that you stretch and challenge yourself and say, let me see. I start out as a trainer. I'm a trainer. That's what I am. That's what my expertise was in. And then I decided, let me see, can I speak? And then I discovered, hey, I can do that. What if I hadn't tried to do that and just been satisfied with just being a trainer, with a limited vision of myself? And then after training, and then I said, well, maybe I can go into business for myself. And I started speaking, going into business for myself. Well, maybe I could train other speakers and teach them how to go into business for themselves. See, you want to have a backup plan. You want to have other strategies for yourself. In case this doesn't work out, you got something else going over here. You don't want to ever put yourself in a situation where you have a limited vision and you're only using a limited amount of your talents, of your skills, and of your abilities. And I'm saying to you, it's possible you've got some talents, some ideas in you, your ability to do some stuff that you haven't even discovered yet. And I'm suggesting that it's necessary that you get outside of your comfort zone. It's necessary that you develop some new relationships where you can learn from people. It's necessary that you do reading, that you do research. It's necessary, if you're already involved in some business, that you don't be satisfied with where you are. If you want to make it today, it's necessary for you to constantly look at ways of getting better. Not only is it possible for you to have your dream, and it's necessary for you to challenge yourself to go after it and get better and leverage relationships that can help you get to where you want to go, but it's you. The major key to your reaching your dream, your living up to your greatness, your making your contribution is you. If the economy is good, fantastic. If the banks are loaning money, that's great. If people are positive, that's great. You don't have any opposition, that's great. But the major key to your making things happen in your life is you. When I wanted to get on public television, you know, they told me, you can't do that. So wait a minute, I've seen these other people on. It's possible I can get on. Leo Biscaya, John Bradshaw. It's possible. Excuse me, hold on, time out. Let's be realistic. Come on, be logical. I said, well, wait a minute. Why can't I do it? Well, let's look here. Think about guys who have credentials, all kind of credentials. You don't have any college training. They're not going to put you on television. Give me a break. I said, thank you for that. God love you, and I'm trying. And went on about my business. You hear me? Let me tell you something. What people think about you and the possibilities for your dream is none of your business. That's their business. They have no imagination, ladies and gentlemen. They're living out of the past, out of their memory. Their attitude is it can't be done because they haven't seen it. They're judging according to appearances. The people that are going to make it in the future, the people that are making it today, let me share something with you. History is being read, but it's also being written by people with imagination. So I went to the next mode, necessary, to start talking to people and seeking and asking for what I wanted and leveraging relationships and trying to find out how do the people do it that went ahead of me? How do they do it? And then what is it I need to do? How is it I need to train myself, to develop myself? What's the resources that will be required in order to make it happen? And as I start seeking out and asking questions, I started running into people who said, I know someone who can help you do that. And they helped me get connected with those people. Remember, we have so much energy that can take us so far. It's necessary that you hook up with some other energy that can take you to the next level. I hooked up with them. They said, let's go. I said, away we go. And guess what? Here we are. I love it. You want your stuff? It's necessary you take responsibility for it, that you make it happen, that you don't give up, that you don't take any objection or disappointment or defeats personally, that you keep on keeping on, that you don't decide that I can't make it because you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, that you realize that's a part of the program. And here's something you've got to resolve. Say this to yourself every day. See, as long as you're breathing, you got a shot at your dream. That's the way I resolve. Say this, please. It's not over until I win. You got that right. It's not over till I win. Not over till I get through. It's not over till I get over. Not over till I get what I want. Door can't open today, look out. I'm going to come back and take the hinges off. That's how you got to do that. You've got to have that kind of courage, that type of determination. If you want to make it happen, it's you. That you've got to take personal responsibility to make it happen. That you have got to own what it is that you want to do. If it's taking care of your well-being, if it's making a difference in our school system, if it's working with senior citizens, if it's to protect our ecology, if it's to create an economic renaissance, if it's just to take yourself to another level, it's you. You've got to make that happen. We can point out many things that can make it inconvenient or can slow us down, but ultimately, it's on us.
How did you overcome the cancer? Like how, and I know this wasn't your first battle, this was your second, correct? How did you overcome that? Who did you have to be? Because I heard you quote a stat, and I hope that you quote it today, about our immune system. And how did you say, no, I'm debt free, I'm cancer free, and I'm drama free? Like, how did you do that?
The oncologist, he was a bad brother who graduated from Howard University. Howard, his name was Mr. Golson. And so he said, Mr. Brown, I got some bad news. What is it? You have cancer.
Oh.
I said, whoa. I said, is there anything else? He said, yes. It's metastasized to 7 areas of your body.
Oh.
I said, wow. He said, why are you smiling? I said, man, 7 is my lucky number.
Wow.
I'm one of 7 children. I was born February the 17th. Joshua marched around the walls of Jericho 7 times. Naaman dipped himself in the river Jordan 7 times. I said, is there anything else? He said, yes. I said, what? He said, and you're ugly too. Did you just
lies?
He said, but you got this. He said, I never tell my patients they're terminally ill. What I say is that my skills, my abilities have terminated. I determine the diagnosis. You and God determine the prognosis. And a verdict, as we look at ourselves, the verdicts of what take place in our lives are not determined by the facts. It's determined by us, our faith, our heart, and our willingness to do what's required in order for us to be here. Being here is not a gift.
Oh, so good. I heard you said something along the lines of our immune system drops. What was that percentage?
When someone looks at you and say that you have a terminal illness, your capacity of your immune system to protect you drops by 40%.
Wow.
In the UK, they don't even allow doctors to say that you are terminally ill anymore. Because of the area of psychoneuroimmunology, words have power. That's why in the Bible it says, death and life is in the tongue.
The tongue,
that we speak too much death as opposed to speaking life. And a diagnosis is not a verdict.
Yes.
Yes, and so there are some people, they leave as a result of hearing those words. And what he said, I determine the diagnosis, you and God determine the prognosis.
Yes.
And that works for me.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a friend who I talked to yesterday. She was told because she had breast cancer that she was terminally ill. And she said, what do you mean by that? He said, well, you have 6 months. And she said, listen to me. She said, you determine the diagnosis. God determines the timetable. Stay in your lane.
Ooh.
And that was 8 years ago. Come
on,
somebody.
Wow. Wow. Yes. Wow.
She said, stay in your lane.
Oh, I have goosebumps. Because people so often, you know, the book Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill.
Yes.
And he talks about drifters, right?
Yes.
Because so many people are drifting inside of their lives and they're never really certain about most things. They allow the people, the places, the things, the opinions, the judgments, the diagnosis to tell them who and how they're going to be, and then they choose to believe it. But wow, you just, how powerful it is to just know this is, you can say whatever you want, but this is what I'm believing. And sometimes we win that battle and sometimes we don't.
And we have to work consciously. Reading, having a ritual like you have, and I have.
Yes.
Reading something positive every day,
yes.
30 or 40 pages. Listening to messages that are designed to empower us. Dr. Carter G. Woodson said, if you can determine what a man should think,
yes.
you never have to concern yourself with what he will do.
Oh.
He said, if you can make a man feel inferior, you never have to compel him to seek an inferior status, or he will seek it himself. And if you can make a man feel justly an outcast, you never have to order him to go to the back door. He'll go without being told. And if there's no door, his very nature will demand one. I spoke in a prison in Ohio, and these young guys came in sagging their pants. I said, hey, what y'all call that? I'm an old man. They said, sagging. I said, wow. I said, how you spell it? They said, what, sagging? Yeah, S-A-G-G-I-N. I said, wow. If you can determine what a man should think, you never have to concern yourself with what he will do. I said, spell it again. And they said, Saggin. I said, now spell it backwards.
Oh.
They got quiet. I said, I'm here to eliminate a virus, HIV, hood-infected virus,
Oh.
AIDS, addiction to incarceration and death syndrome. Don't come for me. I didn't call an Uber.
I'm ready to cry right now. Oh my gosh. Oh, sheesh, that just hit my soul.
Mm-hmm.
And we subscribe, like, whose story are you subscribing to?
Come on now.
And then when you teach people, okay, you don't have to choose this story.
That's right.
If I want to learn about Les Brown, I'm not going to go learn about how to knit kitten hats. You know, like, it's just not what you do. You have to be in alignment with what it is that you want. I have to ask you, do you feel like you are mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, physically, energetically as strong as you are now because of your upbringing? I know that they say there's nothing like having a praying woman in your life.
Come on now.
And I know that Miss Mamie Brown, you know, I know.
You know, I always say all that I am and all that I hope to be, I owe to my mother,
Yes.
Mrs. Mamie Brown. And God took me out of my biological womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. I'm adopted. My birth parents I discovered last year, they're like, they were 45 minutes from here. I was conceived in Gainesville, Georgia, but my birth mother came down to Miami to give birth to us and put us up for foster care and then adoption. And what I now sing, I used to end my speeches by saying, this has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. My birth mother's name is Dorothy Bell Rucker. She was a motivational speaker. And they have a museum for my grandmother. Her name is Beulah Rucker. So now I said, this has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy and Dorothy Bell Rucker's pride and joy. I've got two mothers and I'm not ashamed. I've got two mothers and I love them just the same. If you close your eyes, I sound just like John Legend.
You sound smooth for sure. Wow. What do you think was the biggest lesson? I have one moment that happened in my life with my mom. She wasn't even teaching. It was just experiencing my mom being the most resilient that I had ever seen her. My dad ruptured a disc in his back when I was about 10 years old. My mom was trying to make sure that we weren't homeless. She was going to school full time to get her master's in engineering, had a full-time job, all of us kids, my dad's injury, and her own life. You know, so there was a lot of weight on her shoulders. And I think of a story of one time I accidentally saw her in the middle of the night crying over her homework by herself in the kitchen at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And in that moment, I like slunk back to my bedroom because I couldn't imagine my mom seeing me see her being weak. But what I didn't know was that was actually one of the strongest points I had ever seen my mom at, because here she is in the middle of the night, literally sobbing over her homework. And then in a few hours, she'd have to have all of us up to go to school. And she always would smile. My mom has poise. Like, she comes with joy. I'm sorry if I cry. But she used to sing this song where she tried to wake us up in the morning and she'd say, get out of that bed and wash your face and hands. Get into the kitchen and shake them pots and pans. Or she'd have gospel playing or something going on. And she always had incredible energy, you know, like, she's just such a gem. And I've heard a lot of gems about your mom and Mrs. Mamie Brown. I heard through your story, but do you have a story like that where it was literally like, this is the moment that I understand resilience, not because of what I read in a book or heard in a story, but because I experienced it with this person?
Oh, absolutely. It was a deciding point in my life. I was downtown with my mother, and I think I was probably around 4 or 5. And it was very hot. And so I saw one water fountain, and I ran up to the water fountain and started drinking water. And my mother said, Leslie, stop that. And she grabbed me by the shirt and neck and threw me on the ground. And she started hitting me with her fist with a crazed look in her eyes. And I'm saying, Mama, it's me, Mama, it's me, it's me. And then a white policeman came over and he was hitting a nightstick in his hand. He said, okay, you beat that little nigger boy enough. He's learned his lesson. And he walked away and he looked at me and he was laughing. And Mama hit me in the head and in my mouth and the eye. And he said, I had to learn you better. And my mother said, Leslie, I'm so sorry. She said, he was coming towards you with that nightstick. His face was red with anger. And had he hit you, he would have had to kill me. I had to do that to distract him. I'm so sorry. And I was still crying. I said, Mama, I said, it's okay. He said, you hit me over here. You kissed me over there, right there. She said, you kissing and making well. She said, okay. I said, over here, right here. And we both started laughing and crying at the same time. But she put herself in a position. She had to decide that if this man hits my son, he will have to kill me. And she said, that said to me, she's willing to die for me.
Yes.
And it taught me the value of courage. The Bible says, be of good courage. And courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the willingness to act in spite of the fear. Does that make sense?
Oh, perfectly.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, behave.
Oh, wow. I love it. Wow, wow, wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have to ask, we're going to shift gears a little bit. I love talking about family and speaking. You spent some time in politics.
Yes.
How was that? Why was that?
That was fascinating. When I was a state legislator, I used to have voter registration drives and get people out to vote. At one time, we turned out 95% of the vote in every black precinct in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, wow.
So when I was fired for editorializing about police brutality, which was unprecedented during that time, and the 2 white police officers who were fired, they fired me for that. And then a friend named Horace Perkins, he came to my house. He said, hey, I want you to sign this. And I believe God put angels in your life. He brought these petitions. He went around and got signatures for me to run for the Ohio legislature. So I signed it. But I said, but Perkins, I don't know anything about politics. He said, neither do the people who run.
So true.
So I ran and I won. And I passed 14 bills my first term.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yes. But let me tell you how I got elected. Went to the radio station on Friday before Tuesday.
Yeah.
And my opponent had over $40,000. I had like $600. And so Perkins, who was a salesman at the radio station, he said, come in here, come into control. This is where you come and your ideas flow, because I used to make my own commercials. And something came to me and said, call your mom. Because I just couldn't come on the air and just say, hi, I'm Les Brown. I want to encourage you to vote for me. I just couldn't bring myself to do that. So I said, Mama, because I always talked about my mother when I was on the air. I said, I'm running for the state legislature and I need you to do something for me. She said, you've been running your mouth and you got fired, didn't you? I said, yes, ma'am. But Mama, I need you to say something for me. She said, Leslie, I don't want to be in that mess. I don't know what that is. I said, Mama, I'll give you $500. She said, boy, you better send it Western Union. And so I said, I don't need you to talk long. Just say what's in your heart. Just make it 30 seconds. She said, okay, now don't forget, send me my money today. I'll come for you.
Right.
So
I said, her.
She said, hello, this is Mrs. Mamie Brown. When I raised my boys, I raised them to be good boys. When they got out of hand, I beat their behinds. Please vote for my son. He's a good boy. And I won. Usually you get 3,000 votes in a state representative race. I got over 26,000 votes. People were coming to the polls that I wasn't even in their district saying, Les Brown's mama said he was a good boy. I want to vote for him. Many people would not come out of the poll because they couldn't see my name. They had to call the police. Yeah. But it was just that if you have a heart-centered message, I tell speakers, don't let what you want to say get in the way of what your audience needs to hear.
Oh.
Find out about them.
Yes.
What is it that they're looking for? Because when you speak to an audience, someone one-on-one, small group, or large group, they're asking 3 questions. Who are you? What do you have? And can I trust you? Okay. Because people don't buy from you, they buy into you. And so, pardon me, so I train speakers how to speak from the heart and expand the vision of the audience to get out of their history to step into their imagination. The imagination is where everything takes place. He said, the scripture, I will give you all your eyes can see. And so when I was in the legislature, I was a fierce debater. And that's how I got a lot of bills passed.
How did you become such a great orator? Like, you are the way that you connect all of the dots in such a simple, easy, concise way is really mind-blowing, to be honest.
Thank you.
How did you become?
I studied Malcolm X. By any means necessary, Dr. King.
Yes.
Malcolm X was a communicator. Dr. King was an orator.
Yes.
The best speakers make the fewest words go the farthest.
Yes, they do both.
And so I studied them because they mastered their craft. And Howard Thurman, who was a mentor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Billy Graham, I watched and I studied all of them. And I think I'm a combination of all of them.
Yes.
And you take some material that you believe in, that comes out of your heart, and you own it. You speak from that place of power.
Yes.
That you help people to discover their power voice and inspire them to do something different with their lives.
Wow. Wow. That's so true. Malcolm X is definitely straight into the point.
Great communicator.
Yes.
And Dr. King, I have a dream.
Yes.
That's another
Tell
level.
a story.
Yes.
And you enroll people into that story.
Yes. So when you see me speak in the Georgia Dome, though now I'm speaking as an orator, that speech I gave, it's not over till you win.
Yes.
Before 80,000 people.
Wow.
But when you see me speak in a short format, now that's the Malcolm in me.
Yes.
Or in an interview like you talking to me right now.
Yes.
I'm ready for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mama beat the X out of me. Because I came home after I heard Malcolm X. And my sister, she ran and met me. She said, Leslie, you got to change your last name back to Brown. I said, my name is Leslie X. She said, Mama's going to beat the hell out of you. And so next day I went to school, I was Leslie Brown.
I know that's right.
Yeah, she beat that X out of me.